Thank you again, Dr. Israel. Let's begin with our question and answer session. Mr. Mooney, most retail markets and chains today offer an extensive variety of brands and types of bottled water, illustrating the explosive growth of this industry, as you explained. Can you give us some guidelines for evaluating them or some criteria for selection?
Well, the best products health-wise are natural spring mineral waters, meaning waters with more than 250 total dissolved solids that are not purified to reduce its minerals or enriched artificially. These natural waters are not perishable since they have homeostatic equilibrium, and their composition in a bottle does not change with time. Distilled waters are less than 100 parts per million and actually drain minerals from our body if taken regularly. Also, most so-called alkaline bottled waters are not natural, and their alkalinity has not proven to be a health benefit. And in terms of flavor, the best waters are naturally flowing geothermal or spa waters. Most low-cost bottled waters are just purified municipal or groundwaters and use plastic bottles, which we must all avoid buying if we want to protect our planet.
Thank you. Dr. Israel, you mentioned that in the 1970s, the first computer-based global water and energy models were created to develop projections and future scenarios of their dynamics, but also to promote a global consciousness and responsibility by society of viewing these resources as interdependent and essential in our natural environment. Have educational institutions in recent years done enough in this regard?
I don't think so. The fact that there are many members of our society who do not accept our issues of climate change today is an example of how our school and university curricula have failed in teaching to basic principles of environmental dynamics, of which water and energy are critical components.
Thank you. Mr. Mooney, what would be your advice to an independent farmer or small agricultural entrepreneur regarding his operations and plans, given the important messages of your presentation?
I would say to them that, first and foremost, they should adopt available technologies to gradually reduce their dependence on manual labor and on traditional sources of water and energy. And secondly, to use electronic media and social networks to urgently expand and diversify their markets, partnering with service providers or even other producers wherever possible. Remember, this is the era of networks, and small businesses can sometimes be more agile and creative in finding opportunities for growth than large bureaucratic organizations. Doing more of the same will not work anymore, particularly in agriculture.
Dr. Israel, an important element of our responsibility towards water and energy conservation is its management, use, and reutilization. Should government place conservation and saving goals and mandates to society to ensure our planet's sustainability?
Efficiency and education are the key to conservation. So, government regulations must be modernized to provide incentives to individual and organizational users. In fact, various governments have created funds and national agencies to promote use efficiency of electrical power, such as the case of FIDE in Mexico. But we need promotional programs that are broader in scope to include water and energy efficiency at all levels.
Thank you. I have another question. Mr. Mooney, one profound message in your presentation is the need for government and private industry that for years have treated water and energy as two sectors and area of opportunity to begin coordinating and merging plans and resources to reflect the interdependence of these strategic resources. How can this be done given their separate laws and regulations?
Technology will be increasingly bridging the divide between these two traditionally separate sectors, as well as new education and training programs starting at the basic school level to increase the public's awareness and conscience of the water-energy nexus. Management costs, both in the public and private sectors, would be decreased with consolidated joint authority over these resources by, for example, Ministry of Water and Energy.
Thank you. Dr. Israel, as an expert in the topic of mindfulness, consciousness, and ethics, can you tell us if culture plays a role in their application? And if so, can we assume that certain regions or countries have a higher awareness and respect for these concepts, especially when applied to our natural environment?
Yes. Henry Mooney mentioned the Nordic states as being particularly ethical, trustful of their government institutions. I'd say that the reinvention of governments around the world is a global trend, and the resulting system of government will undoubtedly learn and use the success of established country systems, such as the Nordic states, so as not to make the same mistakes of the past. But cultural traits and values are always certain to play a major role in each case. I also believe that more anti-nationalism sentiments will emanate as a result of the increased need of all of our countries to doing trade, share strengths, and collaborate at all levels.